I still remember what it felt like to be human. Not the big things, not the dreams or the ambitions or the foolish plans humans cling to. No, I remember the small things, the warmth of sunlight, how it used to rest gently on my skin, not burn it. The sound of my own heartbeat, steady, alive, real. And the way my name used to feel when someone spoke it with love. Alaric. It meant something, once. Now, it's just a whisper I repeat to myself, so I don't forget who I used to be. You see, people think becoming a vampire is a gift, power, immortality, freedom from death. That's what the stories tell you. But stories lie. They never tell you what it takes. They never tell you about the moment, the exact second when your humanity is ripped away from you and you feel it leaving. I was not always like this. I was just a man, living in a quiet town, far away from the kind of darkness I thought only existed in myths. I had a home, a family, someone who loved me, and I loved her more than anything this cursed existence could ever give me. Her laughter, it used to fill the emptiness inside me, but I didn't know that emptiness was always there, waiting, watching, growing. It found me on a night much like this one, cold, silent, the kind of night where the world feels like it's holding its breath. I remember walking alone. I remember the feeling that something was wrong, that I was not alone. And then I saw him, standing in the shadows, perfectly still, watching me. His eyes, they didn't look human. They looked hungry, but not for food, for me. I should have run. Every instinct in my body was screaming at me to run. But I didn't, because something inside me, something dark, was already pulling me closer. He smiled, and in that moment, my fate was sealed. You want to know what it feels like to die, but not be allowed to stay dead? It doesn't happen all at once. It's slow, painfully slow. First, your heartbeat begins to fade. You can feel it slipping away, like sand between your fingers. Then the cold sets in. Not the kind of cold you can escape. No, this one comes from inside, spreading, consuming, replacing everything you were. And then the hunger begins. An emptiness so deep, so violent, that it makes everything you've ever felt before seem meaningless. I remember screaming, begging, crying out for it to stop, but it didn't. It never does. Because that's the moment you stop being human, and something else takes your place. And when I opened my eyes again, the first thing I saw was blood. The smell of blood. It's not what you think. It's not just a scent, it's a call, a pull so powerful, so overwhelming, that it drowns every thought, every memory, every piece of who you used to be. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't in control anymore. I could hear it, a heartbeat, not mine, someone else's. Close, too close. Each beat echoed in my skull like a drum. Slow at first, then louder, faster, until it was the only thing I could focus on. Thump, thump, thump. I tried to move away. I tried to resist it. I told myself, this isn't me. But that voice, the one that used to be mine, it was fading, and something else was taking over. Something hungry, something merciless. I turned my head, and I saw her. She was standing just a few feet away, frozen, terrified, Her eyes locked onto mine like she already knew, like some part of her understood what I had become. And in that moment, for just a second, I remembered who I was. I remembered kindness, love, humanity. I tried to speak, tried to warn her, to tell her to run, but my lips didn't move, because my body was no longer listening to me. It was listening to the hunger. She took a step back, then another, her breathing quick, uneven, and that sound, that fragile, desperate rhythm of her heartbeat, it broke something inside me. Or maybe it was the last thing holding me together, because the next moment I moved, faster than anything human. 1 second I was standing still, the next I was right in front of her. She didn't even have time to scream. My hand wrapped around her throat, lifting her slightly off the ground. Her eyes widened, filled with confusion, pain, betrayal. And that's when I saw it, my reflection in her eyes. Not a man, not Alaric, a monster. My fangs already exposed, my face twisted into something I didn't recognize. And still, I couldn't stop. I leaned closer, my breath cold against her skin. For a brief moment, everything went quiet. No thoughts, no memories, no past, just hunger. And then I bit. The moment my teeth pierced her skin, something inside me exploded. Warmth, life, energy. It flooded into me like fire through ice. Her body trembled in my hands, weakening with every second. And I felt stronger, alive again, but in the most horrifying way imaginable. I wanted to stop. God, I wanted to stop. But the more I drank, the less I cared. Her heartbeat slowed, weaker, weaker, until it stopped. Just like mine had, her body went still, lifeless, empty, and suddenly, so was I. The hunger faded, the silence returned, and for the first time, I realized what I had done. I dropped her, stumbling back, staring at my hands, covered in her blood. My entire body began to shake, not from cold, not from fear, but from something far worse, guilt. I fell to my knees beside her, calling out, begging, hoping she would wake up. But she didn't. She never would, because I had taken that from her, the same way it had been taken from me. That was the moment I understood. This wasn't a curse you survive. This is a curse you become. And no matter how much I wanted to deny it, how much I tried to hold on to what was left of my humanity, it was already gone. Because the truth is, the first life you take is the one that kills you forever. I don't remember how long I stayed there, kneeling beside her body. Time stops meaning anything after your first kill. Minutes feel like hours, and hours feel like nothing at all. But eventually, the silence became too loud, and I realized I couldn't stay there. Not with what I had done, not with what I had become. So I stood up, slowly, my hands still trembling. The blood on them had already begun to dry, dark, thick, permanent. No matter how hard I rubbed them against my clothes, it wouldn't come off. It never does. That's the thing they don't tell you. The blood doesn't just stay on your skin. It stains your mind, your soul, your existence. And no matter how far you run, you carry it with you, always. I don't know why I went back home. Maybe some broken part of me still believed that if I stepped through that door, everything would go back to the way it was. That I could pretend, just for a moment, that I was still human, that none of this had happened. But deep down, I already knew. There is no going back, not after that. The closer I got, the louder it became again. That sound, that rhythm, a heartbeat, familiar, warm, alive. And suddenly, my steps slowed, because I recognized it. I knew that heartbeat better than my own. It belonged to her, the one person who loved me without question, the one person who trusted me, who believed in me, who saw something good in me, even when I didn't. I stood outside the door, frozen, my hand hovering over the handle, and for the first time since I changed, I was afraid. Not of the darkness, not of the hunger, but of myself. Because I knew if I walked in there, I wouldn't be alone, and neither would the monster inside me. I could hear her moving inside, soft footsteps, the quiet sound of her voice, humming to herself like she always did. She didn't know. She had no idea what was standing just outside that door. What I had already done, what I was capable of now. I should have left. I should have turned around and disappeared into the night. That would have been the right thing to do, the human thing to do. But I didn't, because the hunger, it had already started creeping back, slowly, quietly, whispering in the back of my mind, reminding me of how it felt. That warmth, that power, that unbearable craving. And now it was pointing me toward her. I clenched my fists, trying to fight it, trying to hold on to whatever piece of me was left. And for a moment, I almost believed I could. I took a step back, then another, breathing heavily, forcing myself away from the door. But then, it happened. She opened it, and when our eyes met, everything fell apart. Her face lit up instantly. Relief, happiness, love. "Alaric, you're back!" She didn't even get to finish her sentence, because the moment I saw her, really saw her, the hunger took over again, stronger than before. Her heartbeat, it was louder now, clearer, calling to me, and my body, it reacted before I could stop it. I stepped forward, too fast, too sudden. Her smile faded, confusion replaced it, then concern. "Alaric, what's wrong with you?" I tried to answer, tried to tell her to run, to get away from me, but the words, they wouldn't come out, because my mouth was already filling with something else. That same burning thirst, that same uncontrollable need. And I realized something in that moment, something far more terrifying than anything I had felt before. This time, I wasn't hunting a stranger. This time, I knew exactly who I was about to lose. And the worst part was that I wasn't sure if I could stop myself. She stepped closer to me, slowly, carefully, like she was approaching something fragile, not dangerous, not deadly, just broken. "Alaric, you're scaring me." Her voice was soft, shaking, but still filled with concern. Concern for me, even now, even when something deep inside her was already warning her that something was terribly wrong. I could hear it, her heartbeat, faster now, not just alive, but afraid. And somehow, that made it worse. Because fear, it makes the blood race. It makes it louder, stronger, irresistible. I staggered back, grabbing my head, trying to block it out. "Don't, come closer." The words finally escaped my lips, but they didn't sound like mine. They were distorted, rough, like something else was speaking through me. Her eyes widened. She had never heard me like that before. "Alaric, what happened to you?" Another step closer, and the hunger tightened its grip. I could feel my fangs already descending, my body tensing, preparing, like a predator locking onto its prey. "No, please," I whispered. But I wasn't talking to her. I was begging myself, begging the monster inside me to stop. For one moment, just one, to let me be human again. She reached out her hand, gently, carefully, and placed it against my face. Warm, soft, alive. That touch, it shattered something inside me. Memories flooded back all at once. Her laughter, her smile, the way she used to say my name, like it meant everything. Alaric. And for a second, a single, fragile second, the hunger disappeared. I leaned into her hand, closing my eyes, holding on to that warmth like it was the last piece of sunlight left in my world. "I'm here," she whispered. "It's okay. Whatever this is, we'll fix it." Fix it. If only she knew. If only she understood. There was nothing left to fix, because the man she loved was already gone, and what stood in front of her now was just wearing his face. My eyes opened again, and the moment I looked at her, the hunger came back, stronger, violent, unforgiving. Her heartbeat exploded in my ears. Thump, thump, thump. My grip tightened around her wrist, not gentle anymore, not loving, possessive, predatory. She gasped slightly, pain flickering across her face. "Alaric, you're hurting me." And that should have stopped me. That should have been enough. But it wasn't, because the monster doesn't care about love. It doesn't care about memories. It doesn't care about who she is, or what she means to me. All it sees is blood. I pulled her closer, my other hand rising to her shoulder, holding her in place. She tried to pull away now, fear fully taking over. "Alaric, stop, please." Too late. My head tilted, my lips inches from her neck. I could feel her pulse against my skin, fast, desperate, alive, and I broke. My fangs sank into her flesh, and in that exact moment, I felt her hands gripping me tighter, not pushing me away, not fighting, holding on, as if, even now, she still believed I was there, somewhere inside this monster. Tears filled my eyes as I fed, because I was aware, fully aware, of everything I was doing, every second, every drop, and I hated myself for it. But I didn't stop. I couldn't. Her body weakened in my arms, her grip slowly loosening, her strength fading, her heartbeat slowing, and with it, the last piece of my humanity died with her. When it was over, I didn't drop her. I held her, tightly, desperately, like if I just held on long enough, she might come back. But she didn't. Her body went still, cold, silent, gone. And I was left there, standing in the doorway of what used to be my life, covered in the blood of the only person who ever truly loved me. That's the truth they never tell you. You don't lose your humanity when you become a monster. You lose it when you destroy the last thing that made you human. I stayed there for a long time, holding her, refusing to let go, as if denial alone could undo what I had done. The world around me felt distant, muted, like everything had been drained of meaning. There was no sound anymore, no heartbeat, no warmth, just silence. The kind of silence that doesn't comfort you, but suffocates you. Her body grew colder in my arms, stiffer, heavier, and yet I couldn't move, because the moment I let go, it would become real. She would become real, gone, forever. I buried my face against her shoulder, breathing in what little warmth remained, trying to pretend that she was still alive, that she would open her eyes, say my name, tell me everything was going to be okay. But deep down, I knew I had taken that from her, just like the one before. And suddenly, it hit me. This wasn't the end. This was the beginning. Because the hunger, it wasn't gone. It never goes away. Even now, with her lifeless body in my arms, I could feel it. Quiet, waiting, patient, like a shadow that never leaves. It doesn't care who you love. It doesn't care what you've lost. It doesn't stop, ever. I slowly pulled away, looking down at her face one last time. Peaceful, almost like she was sleeping, but I knew better. I placed her gently on the ground, my hands trembling as I let her go. And in that moment, something inside me snapped, not loudly, not violently, just emptied. Whatever guilt I felt, whatever pain remained, it didn't disappear. It sank deeper, becoming something colder, something permanent, because that's how this curse works. It doesn't free you from your emotions. It traps you inside them for eternity. Every memory, every mistake, every face of everyone you've ever destroyed, they stay with you, perfectly clear, perfectly alive, while you are not. I stumbled out of that house, into the night, the same night that had taken everything from me. But now, it belonged to me. The darkness didn't feel foreign anymore. It felt familiar, like I was finally seeing the world for what it truly was. Cold, empty, hungry, just like me. Days passed, or maybe weeks. Time lost its meaning. I wandered, feeding when the hunger became unbearable, hating myself every single time, but never stopping, because I couldn't, because that's what I am now, a creature that survives by destroying others. And the worst part, it gets easier. That's the truth no one wants to hear. The first time breaks you, the second time hurts, but after that, you start to feel less, care less, until one day you look into someone's eyes right before you take their life, and you feel nothing, no guilt, no hesitation, just hunger. And that is when you realize you are no longer pretending to be a monster. You have become one, completely, irreversibly. And yet, somewhere deep inside me, a small piece still remains. A voice, faint, distant, whispering her name, reminding me of what I lost, of what I destroyed, of what I can never get back. That voice is my curse, not the hunger, not the immortality, but the memory. Because no matter how many years pass, no matter how many lives I take, I will always remember the moment I killed the only thing that ever made me human, and I will have to live with that forever. And now, you're listening to me, sitting there, safe, comfortable, alive. You can hear my voice, calm, controlled, almost human. But don't let that fool you, because I've learned something over the years, something far more terrifying than the hunger itself. Monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they look exactly like the people you trust, the people you love, the people you would never question. Just like I once did, just like she did. I've walked among humans for longer than you can imagine, watched them, studied them, blended in with them. And do you know what I realized? You don't need fangs, or glowing eyes, or shadows to become something like me. All it takes is one moment, one mistake, One choice you can never take back. That's how it begins. Not with blood, not with darkness, but with something small, something you convince yourself doesn't matter. And then it grows, slowly, quietly, until one day you look in the mirror and you don't recognize what's staring back at you. That's the moment you understand that the real horror isn't what I am, it's what you could become. Because the line between human and monster is thinner than you think. I didn't wake up one day and choose this. I didn't ask for it. I didn't want it. But I became it anyway. And now I carry it. Every night, every moment, every memory. An endless existence filled with faces I can't forget, voices I still hear, and a name that no longer belongs to me. Alaric. Sometimes I say it out loud, just to remember, just to feel something, anything. But it never lasts, because the hunger always comes back. It always wins. And when it does, I become what I truly am, again. So let me ask you something before I go. When you're alone tonight, and the world is quiet, and you catch your reflection staring back at you, take a closer look. Ask yourself, are you still the same person you were yesterday? Or have you already changed in ways you don't even understand yet? Because trust me, it doesn't take centuries to become a monster. Sometimes it only takes one night, one moment, one choice. And if you're not careful, you won't even notice it happening until it's too late. Just like I didn't, just like she didn't. And by then, there's no turning back. Only hunger, only darkness, only you and the thing you've become. So the next time you hear a story like mine, don't be afraid of me. Be afraid of yourself, because I was once human, just like you. And now, I'm something else entirely.